The world dissolved at the stroke of noon. One moment, Alleria's fingers were deftly working the wool, the shuttle moving with a rhythm as natural as breathing. The next, the great clock in the square boomed its first note, and a cold, hollow sensation bloomed behind her eyes. The thread in her hand became a foreign object. She stared at the half-finished tapestry on her loom, the intricate pattern of indigo and gold now a confusing, meaningless jumble. She knew she was a weaver. The calluses on her fingers proved it, but the how of it, the deep-seated knowledge of the craft, had simply vanished. A perfect, seamless void had opened up where a memory used to be, and this was the third time this week. Her days became a careful map of avoidance. She kept to the edges of the square, timing her errands to the minute, her body tensing in anticipation of the chimes. The market stall holders began to give her a wide berth, their smiles tight and their eyes avoiding hers. It was Old Man Hemlock, the baker, who finally broke the silence. He found her huddled in his shop doorway during a sudden downpour, flinching as the church bell tolled 4. A man visits his wife's grave to pick flowers, but stands for an hour, unable to remember what plant she loved. He finally confesses his grief, whispering that it was lavender. He reveals his wife adored the scent and had planted all the lavender fields herself, his voice raw with shared loss. It wasn't just her. A quiet, desperate census began. The blacksmith's son no longer recalled the melody of his mother's lullaby. The florist's daughter had forgotten the name of her first love. Each stolen piece was a happy memory, a moment of pure joy, and every single one was tied to the heart of the town, the square dominated by Alastair's magnificent new clock. The connection was too stark to ignore. The beautiful, flawless timepiece was the source of the emptiness. Fear curdled into a cold resolve.
She had to know why.
As the sun dipped below the rooftops, casting the square in long, accusing shadows, Alleria turned her steps toward the one place she had never dared to go, the clockmaker's workshop at the base of the tower. The workshop was a cavern of ticking and turning, a symphony of precise mechanics that felt utterly alien. "The mechanism is not for public viewing," he said, his voice as thin and precise as a watch spring. Alastair stood with his back to her, a slight man hunched over a complex array of gears. He didn't turn around. Alleria's own voice felt thick and clumsy in her throat. "It's stealing from us. The chimes, they take things." This time, he did turn. His eyes, magnified behind thick lenses, were feverishly bright.
"Take? No."
"You misunderstand. I am preserving." He gestured with an oil-stained hand toward the towering innards of the clock. "Time erodes everything. It fades joy. It blunts love. It turns perfect moments into dusty, imperfect recollections. I have halted that decay." He led her to a central glass cylinder, his movements reverent. Inside, a complex mobile of crystal and silver turned slowly. And within it, swirling like mist caught in sunlight, were fragments of color and light. A child's laughter echoed faintly from the mechanism. The scent of lavender briefly perfumed the oil-heavy air. "I have saved them," Alastair murmured, almost to himself. The clock must be fed to keep perfect time, a small tithe of happiness for eternal order. "I have given the town a perfect, perpetual present, free from the pain of nostalgia or the corruption of forgetting." The horror of it washed over her. He hadn't built a clock. He had built a beautiful, gilded cage for their pasts. Her choice was suddenly, terribly clear. Demand he shatter his masterpiece or allow everyone she knew to become hollowed-out shells, living in the peaceful, perfect, and utterly soulless present he had engineered for them. She found him there at midnight, a silhouette against the massive gears that turned with a sound like breathing metal. The air was thick with the scent of oil and ozone, a sacred incense in his temple of order. "Stop it, Alastair."
"Now."
Her voice didn't shake, but it felt thin against the overwhelming presence of the machine. The finality in it made him turn, his face a mask of pained defiance etched in the flickering light of a single gas lamp. Alastair started to think about why he became so selfish. It was the memories of his son that drowned years ago. Alastair freed everyone's past memories.